Gentlemen, to the B-Leaguers podcast, brought to you by the Koyo Store. Head to thekoyostore.com to pick up all your officially licensed Ubisoft merch, paraphernalia, and speaking of the Koyo Store, we forgot to do the giveaway announcement, so I'll be drawing the winner of the giveaway live on the episode right now. Well, later on in the episode when we're in like the Q&A portion. So in like 2 hours. So you have 2 hours to follow the @B-Leaguers Twitter account. You don't have to like or retweet any kind of post or anything. Literally just follow the fucking Twitter account, and I will randomize a follower out of that list, and you'll win the set of pins that are right across the room from me. I can see them. They're on the top of my couch right there. They're pretty fucking nice. There's actually a duplicate of IQ in there. There's a duplicate of IQ in all three of ours. We got 3 sets, one for me, one for Stokes, and one for the viewer giveaway, and they all have a duplicate in them. So you're gonna get 2 IQ pins out of it. Have fun. Yeah, welcome back to the podcast. It's been a minute. It was going to be even longer, except for the fact that I figured we had enough to talk about that we could actually do an episode in between until we get to the back half of Season 9 starting up next week. So, I threw up on the Reddit. If you're not a member of the subreddit, it's just r/BLeaguers, same as the Twitter. We did pretty good on the branding, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty proud of our branding,
I'm
honestly.
proud of you.
We did it.
As
we
much as I
fucking
can
did
be
it.
proud of you, because you're kind of a shitter. But...
You're not wrong. But I threw the topics up on a post titled "I'm a fucking liar" because I'm a fucking liar, and I said that
I feel like that's your favorite thing now because we have our own subreddit. And you're like, dude, now I can just say like ridiculously stupid shit in the public eye, and no one will care because it's our subreddit. Like
exactly, yeah. I can just I called them fuckers in the post. Literally, the
I love
second
it
word
because
in that
I've been
post.
trying to be such an adult like recently with my social media, and then there's just you over here in a corner fucking yelling about the goddamn the Leaves. You yelling about the Leaves like, oh dude, our fucking defense, brother. Like
Yep. Our first period's blow, but man, our second period's giving me an orgasm. Like that's commonplace on my Twitter, man. Y'all should have seen it before Siege was a thing. My Twitter was just hockey. It was interesting. It was interesting to say the least. Jumping in, I also wanted to just touch on this real quick off the rip. So this was not a friend of mine. This was not a very close acquaintance of mine, but I did run into him a few times and played against him in hockey a couple times over the years. His name is Colton Kepfer. When was this? About 5 years ago, 5.5 years ago, he was diagnosed with an osteosarcoma. He had cancer in his bones, if you don't know what that is. And he had been battling cancer for a long time. Never went to school with him, never really hung out with him, never really got to talk to him, but I did, play against him in hockey a couple times. I remember one year he actually laid me the fuck out, and it was quite respectable. And on Saturday night he passed away. So I just wanted to say my piece on that. He was honored as one of Hockey Night in Canada's junior analysts, which, if you're not Canadian, you don't know what the fuck that means, but basically it's, the biggest national broadcast every Saturday night for hockey. It's called Hockey Night in Canada, and they brought him on the desk with Jeff Merrick, and they kind of just talked to him about like what he was hearing from friends who got drafted into the O and stuff. And minor hockey was a big part of his life, and unfortunately he put up a damn good fight. But unfortunately he lost the fight to cancer the other night. So I just wanted to say my piece, pay my respects to Colton. Wish I knew you better. Wish I could have, I don't know, taken you out for a beer one day, or maybe played on the same team as you one year, but things didn't break down that way, and I'm sorry you're gone.
Yeah, cancer's a bitch. Fuck cancer.
It is.
It's just fucking annoying, because especially like what you're talking about with this guy. Because actually, when you put the post up, I went and read. I threw it right into Google, and I was like, okay, well, what's this about? You know what I mean? Because I was like, okay, it's a personal thing to him, but like, is it a hockey player from Canada that I just don't know? Like, what is it? And I read his whole obituary that they had online, and very, very special kid. Very special kid. And it's just sad that cancer can take away people like that. You know what I mean? Like what you said, like an analyst making it to what is it, game night and Hockey Night in Canada, right? That's what it's called.
Yep.
Okay, someone making it to that stage at the age of 20, that's nothing to shake a stick at. I mean, especially with old time sports like hockey, football, that kind of stuff, you don't see extremely young people on an analyst desk ever. You just don't see it unless it's like a college student that's like a quarterback for like 3 years, and he's like a tier 1 quarterback. Like, okay, yeah, he can jump on the analyst desk for like a little bit and just show something or something along those lines. But it's very cool for that stuff to happen. But Very disappointing. And there's one thing that I think it was my grandma told me this quite a while ago. When someone dies to cancer, that doesn't mean they lost the fight. Living with cancer and being able to do what you want to do while living with cancer is winning, and dying because of that is not losing to cancer. So
Good way
I'm
to
just
put it.
happy that I'm just happy that he still got 5 years out of it and was able to do what he wanted to do, and hopefully got to see some things that he wanted to see before he had to meet an untimely end. And hopefully he's in a better place. And that's really that.
There we go. I just wanted to say that off rip. I didn't want to turn it into a whole topic. I just felt like it was kind of my duty with a platform like this to kind of say my piece. So anyway, we're gonna move on. No more sad shit. No more cancer talk. We're gonna move on to the roster moves anyway that have at least come out, and just give our kind of opinions and reactions to them immediately. I think the first one we should talk about actually is the Liquid move. It wasn't first in my list, and I know there's people out there who want to hear BC to Dark Zero off rip, just because we do have a lot of North American fan base primarily. But let's talk about Liquid here, because this decision, it came out, was not made by any of the players. This decision, very similar to Super's departure from Rogue, was made at an organization level from management. It was not made by the players, although I fucking find it hard to believe that the players did not also want to make this move. So they bring back PSK. PSK and Bullet were both on the team last season, and now PSK has made his return, and Gohan has officially been dropped.
I couldn't tell you why.
Yeah, no idea. No idea why, man. That's a mystery right there.
Man, you know what? I'm so sorry for him. I'm trying to drip these words in as much sarcasm as possible. Like I'm taking the vat and just fucking dipping them in it. But like that, God, look, I don't care how good you are at sport, at an esport, video game, whatever. That doesn't give you a right to be a cocksucker. Like you don't have a right to be a dick to your teammates. Like that doesn't give you a right at all. And I guess that he's finally learning that lesson now that literally the org stepped in and was like, yeah, no, like that's a lot. So we'll see if he's able to ever change his attitude, or if he'll just go to playing on the bottom teams inside of LATAM and just wisp into the wind.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely got to turn around his attitude, and we talked about it. So we talked about it on broadcast while we were casting Liquid games. We each got one apiece, and I got the quarterfinal game for Liquid. So I got two of the Liquid games. You got the other, like the rematch of Liquid Mocket on the last day of group stage, and we just, I think we all brought it out at some point during the broadcast where it was like, Gohan's kind of losing his shit right now, and it's not okay. Like, you can see the body language and the emotional language and the facial expressions from the rest of the players on Liquid that this is having a huge detrimental impact on the team. Like, the number of times the face cam would flip on and Zig would look like he just wanted to walk across the room and bitch slap Gohan
or Sensei.
Yeah, there was a couple people on Liquid, and it wasn't even like, Sensei was getting in Gohan's face. Zig was just trying his best to fucking ignore it, and like I think that's more telling. Like, if you're gonna equal Gohan's anger with more anger, I guess that means you're still trying to work it out. For Zig to just emotionally be completely separated from the whole thing as the IGL, as the team captain, and just be like, I don't really want to fucking deal with this right now, that's pretty telling. And I'm not really surprised at all by this, and this is now the second time an org has had to drop a player from the team by themselves. Like, they had to go to a management level to drop a player. And that's kind of excessive. Like,
it's pretty ridiculous, honestly. Pretty ridiculous. And I think the biggest thing with him is it's not the first time.
No.
It's the second time. And
that's why he got dropped by FaZe.
Exactly. It's just a telling tale of, hey, you're being an asshole and your team doesn't want to play with you. So it's just ridiculous. And hopefully they're going to be able to fix it. Well, he'll be able to fix himself. It's only a personal issue. So it's nothing against him. It's not him being a bad player. Gohan's not a bad player. He's mechanically skilled. He's a good IGL. Just he lets his emotions ride, and it turns out to be a bad thing because he ends up yelling at people, and it just doesn't work out for him. So My God, dude, my throat is trying to just commit suicide right now. Jesus.
I think I actually want to parlay this into a comment that was made on the topic thread because I asked for recommended topics, and it connects here. So moist_pistol responded to the topic thread with the immaturity. Moist pistol, yes.
Dude, Reddit names are so good. God bless.
Immaturity of pro players, not just Rainbow, but esports in general, versus actual pros holding back esports. You don't often see Tom Brady or LeBron James or Mike Trout getting into Twitter arguments as one example. Moist Pistol, I would very much like you to reach beyond those three figures in traditional sports and just take a look anywhere else out in professional sports. There are assholes everywhere that always take to social media. Like, last night, Kyrie Irving went on a fucking media tirade before the game and after the game, and it's been a fucking clown fiesta in Boston for the Celtics all year. You take a look at Sean Avery in the NHL for a very, very long time, who decided to speak up for God knows what reason the other day about the Islanders fans. You've got Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant constantly on
love it.
the fucking Thunder for a while, and now they've separated. You've got Kevin Durant and fucking Draymond Green in Golden State. I can name 25,000 things. You've got Le'Veon Bell sitting out an entire NFL season just because he didn't like his coach.
Le'Veon, not Le'Veon. What?
English. Le'Veon Bell. It's Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, you didn't say it like that the first time you said Le'Veon.
Okay. Anyway, Antonio Brown skipping practice on the same team before the last game of the regular season.
That mustache. Oh my God.
There are a bajillion examples I can bring from just the last calendar fucking year from professional sports.
Have you seen Antonio Brown's mustache?
No, I haven't.
Dude, it's blonde.
Like I don't understand where like people who watch esports get this inclination that somehow just because esports is a newer industry as a whole, that the players are somehow inherently more immature than regular professional athletes, especially when the age gap between some of these professional athletes I'm talking about and the players we're talking about in esports is massive. You got 18, 19, 20-year-olds suddenly rising to fame in esports. These are grown-ass men. These are 26, 27, 28-year-old men who are still pulling this shit. So don't give me that esports is somehow more immature than professional sports. It's a clown fiesta no matter where you go. There are asshats who have access to social media and millions of followers no matter where you go. Do not put esports in some kind of pinhold fucking argument about the players being more immature. There are good examples and there are bad examples in every single fucking industry no matter where you look.
Yeah.
That shit pisses me off, man. That shit, like, if you think that, then you clearly don't pay attention to traditional sports all that well. If you actually think, yes, there are good examples.
Sports on such a high pedestal for no reason. Like, look, if anything, esports should probably be worse because it's literally just a bunch of like 18 to like 22-year-olds with like testosterone levels out the fucking roof, just all playing a competitive sport. Like that's what it is. Like NFL, everything is all relatively the same way. You just have a bunch of young dudes that have a ridiculous amount of testosterone running through their fucking veins, and they just want to murder each other. That's it. And then they get all pissy, get their fucking piss hot, jump on Twitter, yell at each other. Then the next day, it's kind of like just waking up the day after, and you look over and you're like, I don't know why I had sex with that chick. And you're like, oh wait, I was drunk. And then you wake up the next day, and you're like, I don't really know why I sent that tweet. It's like literally the same thing. It's like, you always wake up the next day and you're like, what the fuck did I do? You know what I mean? It's like going out to a bar, drinking a shitload, waking up the next day and feeling like shit and then going, I'm never going to drink again. It's the same thing. Like you wake up and you're like, I'm never going to send something stupid on Twitter ever again. And then you do it like a week later. Like it's the same thing, just over and over again with everything. This is how it works. So. You know?
Just, I hate that. I hate that shit. Because, yes, you listed 3 pretty fucking good examples of pillars
yeah, but they're
in
also
the traditional
some of the most
sports.
classy people besides Tom Brady. Fuck Tom Brady. Anyways.
I mean, you don't, like you said, you don't see Tom Brady getting into Twitter arguments. No shit, because he has, like, millions of followers, and he has a social media rep who runs his fucking Twitter account.
He's probably not even signed in on his Twitter. It's like fucking Brett Favre. You think Brett Favre tweets? Fuck no. Like, what?
There are good
What
examples
was I
and
gonna
there are
say?
bad examples. Let's move on though. Let's move
Oh,
on. This
yeah,
is taking. Of
kind of a segue backwards. Antonio Brown's mustache is literally the #1 Google for him. If you type in Antonio Brown mustache, it's the first thing that pops up.
course it is.
Dude, it's blonde and disgusting. It's hilarious.
All right.
All right.
So back to the roster move that I think everyone really wanted to talk about, which was Brandon Carr, the egg himself, coming back to Dark Zero.
I'm hyped.
This was weird because we heard multiple different names going to Dark Zero over the last couple weeks, and none of them included BC.
Well,
I personally heard 4 different names.
Well, we basically got the information from the same people, so yeah.
Yeah, I heard 4 different names. None of them were BC. I'm not going to say who, obviously, because I want to keep getting privileged information.
Yeah, I want to keep being privileged.
Yeah, exactly. But no matter how it breaks down, whether contracts weren't able to be bought out, whether teams had a second decision, whether organizations got involved and shut down an absolute implosion of a certain roster, whether it's the player made a different decision about where he wanted to go and what he wanted to do, we ultimately end up with BC back on Dark Zero. I don't hate it.
I love it.
I think some of the other moves out there, at least 2 of the other moves I thought would have made Dark Zero better. I think Poge was in an unfortunate circumstance where he was continuously performing a little below average and the rest of the team was doing their best. And I mean, the team's in a good spot. Like, I don't really like teams who make roster moves in this kind of position where you're already in the top 3 conversation. You're already kicking ass in back-to-back 6-month seasons. Like, this is almost coming to a full year of Dark Zero being in the top team in North America conversation. Will one roster move fix that and put them to the #1 team in North America conversation? I don't know. I don't think Poge was necessarily detrimental to the team. He plays a role that is not it's not a fun role. You're breach plant bitch and you're smoke on defense, man. That's not a fun role. It's not a flashy role. It's not a sexy role. You're not going to be putting up good numbers out there. So that leads me to believe it was maybe they thought there were better clutch players that they could bring in. A couple of the names that were mentioned were tremendously clutch heavy as far as having to do a lot of work on their respective teams in that department. BC filling in that role, I don't actually expect BC to do much better stats wise than Poge was in that specific role, the way the team is based, but maybe a little better clutch potential in the situations where the rest of the team fucks up. Maybe a situation where communications were better with BC than they were with Poge. It's going to come down to some behind the scenes move, and we're going to have to wait and see like if BC can quickly come back into form. It's not like you're a pro player for years and you lose it overnight. Like, I'm sure he's still capable of playing, but we have seen a couple other players who have taken a break and then come back have to ease their way into getting back into form. And I think that'll be the first thing to look at for BC and the rest of Dark Zero is how does the team look day 1, which will be next Monday.
I think my biggest thing with BC is the fact that I feel like there's going to be some role swaps inside of the team with him joining, because he played quite a few different ops when he played for EG. He wasn't really the smoke main. He wasn't really just, bomb bitch and planted the entire time. That really wasn't his style. He more or less took like Sledge or Buck or people with grenades on offense, and then on defense, he was more or less just a flex. That's kind of what he did. I don't really see them, establishing him in that role. I see them placing him probably to where he's comfortable, because BC showed us time and time again on EG, if he has what roles he likes, he can do the best on the team repeatedly. So I think that the biggest thing for me, though, with all of that is the fact that I feel like the team might still be pretty rigid. I don't know why this light keeps doing this. I feel like the team's still going to be pretty rigid, and that's going to be a really big issue, just due to the fact that with it being more rigid still, they're still not going to be able to make those mid-round adjustments. And that's something that we saw with EG when they had basically this exact same team style, not the exact same team roster, exact same team style with BC and everybody and Bacon as a coach. So if they are able to get around that and be a little bit more flexible, then I see this working out. But I feel like with BC, they're still going to be kind of stuck on the same path, just different names.
Yeah, I'm also curious that it came down to BC as, I don't want to say last possible option. But like we said, we heard a myriad of different names be connected to Dark Zero as to who was heading there to fill Pojo's spot. And there's a couple more rumors that popped up today on the Pro League subreddit that have me quite quizzical. And we'll get to them in a second, but
I love when you say big words. Oh man.
I'm a little curious why BC makes this whole grandstand in the middle of a season last year with EG to drop everything in the like 2 weeks into the second half split and walk away from playing. And now 6 months later he's back playing.
Well, I mean, he told me at SI that he missed it. Like they'd put him in for a couple of scrims when he was filling in, because basically,
yeah.
because I asked him, I was like, "How's practice been going without Poj? Like, what really have you guys been doing?" He's like, "Oh, I've been filling in for our scrims so we could get some scrims in and just try out some new stuff." And he's like, I was like, "Well, how have you been doing?" He went, "Well, I've been doing really well, actually. I've been really happy with my play, and if anything, it made me miss playing more than I enjoy coaching." And that kind of gave me a hint of like, okay, this could be a possible move, but I didn't want to like be like, "Hey, Flynn, I think this might happen," because we had heard so many other names. Like, I don't want to throw another fucking hat or throw another name inside of the hat. You know what I mean? So that was the biggest draw for me from that conversation was the fact that that could have been a possibility. And I'm happy that BC's back, because I think BC was a driving force for a lot of people to watch EG, and I think he's going to be a driving force for a lot of people to watch Dark Zero. There's a lot of Dark Zero fans already, which is very impressive. I think it's just due to the fact that they are a new organization, and people like jumping on things that are new. Like, it's the same thing with hockey. Everyone jumped on the Las Vegas Knights when they first came out. Like, everybody was buying Knights jerseys, especially after the terrible shooting happened in Las Vegas, and the Knights had such a great season. Everybody was buying jerseys. Like, you could be in fucking Maine inside of the United States, and you'd see people wearing Las Vegas Golden Knights jerseys. So it's just stuff like that. So I'm hoping that they do try and turn out the second half of the season, but we'll see. Again, like, you got to try and find that shit out. You know, again, it's like what we were talking about at SI, Flynn. You got to play the match. If it was all run off of stats, then sports would be extremely boring to watch.
Yeah, I think Dark Zero as a whole roster, as their core, has been quite competent for a very long time. They've always been the F third, was the meme back in the day. And I mean, man, the number of times they've come up short is, I mean, we've gone over this on a previous episode before.
Like
but
their
it's heartbreaking.
SI qualifier?
Yeah, and I mean, even shit before that. I mean, you're the number 1 seed in NA from weeks 3 to 12 in Season 8, and you have a do-or-die game against Rogue to make it to Rio, which would also qualify you for SI, and you choke. And I don't know if this one roster move will fix that. I feel like it's a whole team thing, and it's not just a one-person thing. But every little step counts, and I'll be interested to see how they hang through the back half of the season. I actually want to pull up the schedule right now and see what their first game is and kind of where they're going to be headed to start things off. So Dark Zero will start things off on Monday against, the 15th. Is that Monday? Oh, that's next Friday. The fuck? Schedule seems a little weird right now. I know Pro League comes back on the 11th, but it might be a different region. It might be doing a bit of shuffling. Anyway, the first game is against Reciprocity, regardless of what actual fucking day it's going to be played on. That's a tough one off rip, man. That's a very tough one off rip. Reciprocity, the only team that was able to defeat EG in back-to-back games. Week 6 game in Pro League, and then at SI in the quarterfinals. Yikes. That might be a tough go to try and reintroduce BC into the roster and everything. Man, that first... Jeez, yeah. Those first games are actually all pretty interesting. Dark Zero, Reciprocity, SSG, Rise, and then Rogue EXG. I'm kind of good with all those. I don't know. 7 games left.
You, honestly.
Technically 6 games left because no one has to play against Orgless because they don't exist anymore. So That'll be interesting because I don't really understand like what's happening here as far as like the round differentials are breaking down. Because it seems like on Liquipedia anyway, round differentials have been altered from what I remember them being before we went into SI. I could be wrong here.
Yeah.
What?
Huh?
What?
What?
What are you going for?
I'm just agreeing with you.
Okay. Christ.
Your face cam, dude.
I'm so confused. Like
You look lost. Bro, your fucking beard is in like full effect right now. My God.
why are you watching me?
Fucking Canuck. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, this is what happens when you're a man, Stokes. You actually have facial hair. Yes.
Dude, look.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't look good with a full beard, all right?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm.
I look good with stubble. I don't look good with the full beard. Plus my mustache, like look, my mustache and like my goatee don't
I'm not
connect.
watching you. I'm not opening your goddamn stream.
It just doesn't connect, dude. Hey, Jared, I saw that. I'll fucking kill you, all right?
Back on topic. I don't know what's going on with the win-loss and the round differential, because if you go like scroll up, all the scores from the previous games are gone. They're just like default wins now against Orglis. So I'm a little concerned what's gonna happen there. We still don't have an official ruling on what the actual fuck is gonna happen there. Again, I'm pretty sure everyone is confident it's just gonna be default wins for everyone for the rest of the season, but because there's no games even scheduled, obviously, because they can't play.
Well, you know what that means?
What?
No one's gonna get auto-relegated.
That's kind of what the consensus rumor is, and I'm kind of pissed off about that, to be honest. I mean, there's still the relegation match against the number 2 seed coming out of NACL for the 7th seed at the end of the season, but I don't know, man. I feel like there should still be the auto-relegation at the 7th spot, and then the 6th spot has to play a relegation game. Because the whole point... Yeah.
I have a real question. What do you think is going to happen with this Rise roster? Do you think they're actually going to be able to bring it back, or do you think that they're just going to continue down this path of just mediocrity?
I mean, Crazy and Acid coming over are interesting. I feel like you're just like you dropped Ghost and Beastly for Crazy and Acid. In my mind, Ghost was not doing well, so you're getting a slight upgrade in the department of Crazy. But like Acid, Beastly, you're still going to put them in the same role. I guess Acid's a little better suited for the role that Beastly was in, considering Beastly would, I would imagine, much prefer and excel much further on a fragging role on a different team. So, I mean, fuck, man. I don't see like a lot of improvement coming out of it, honestly. I mean, that really doesn't seem like it's gonna be the strongest move, and I don't think there's really gonna be much of a change for them, unfortunately. I'm glad that Crazy and Acid found homes and they can actually start getting a salary for the rest of the season. But I mean, you're in the basement right now with 3 points. You got 1 win. You're tied with EXG right now at 1-0-5. Yikes. I don't know. It's gonna be a battle for that 7th spot right now for EXG and Rise, and honestly, the other 5 in NA, I don't even fucking know. It looks like Rogue is actually like the front runner to fall out of the top 4 right now.
It's just, I don't know, man. With Rise and EXG, it's just weird. EXG started warming up, and ever since that Thomas pickup, really.
Yeah,
but
that has been
Achieved really has been the outlier for me there. The dude has been going absolutely nuts. So if he's able to continue that on the second half of the season, then I definitely think that they're going to finish above Rise. Because again, Rise just picked up 2 brand new people. So you got to try and adjust your core as well as try and fit in with those 2 new people and see how things are going to work out. So it's going to be very surprising to me if they're able to adjust and even make it out of that 7th spot. If they get to like the 5th spot inside of the inside of NA for region wise, then I'll be very, very impressed.
Well, I think the next thing we really need to talk about is Na'Vi coming in and picking up the market roster.
Oh, let's talk about that one.
That kind of came out of left field. Honestly, I'd never heard a single thing about that the entire week while we were in Montreal. And of all rosters in EU, market, really. Market
the
roster.
team that has been doing absolutely terrible inside of EU, and then when they come over to SI, they don't even look that good. I mean, a lot of their wins were just off the back of other teams not performing well. Liquid, for instance. So I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of their
I don't know.
games looked like, I mean, they got fucking,
Yeah,
I don't know, man. They just looked
I'm very
weird.
scared. I'm very scared just due to the fact that Navi has, excuse me, Navi has a ton of money, and they're an awesome org. They've been a great org. They've have teams inside of CS, Dota, basically any big game that you could possibly think of. Navi has an outstanding team inside of. So actually, their Counter Strike team is number 2 or number 3 in the world right now. That's the team that Simple plays for. So for them to come in and pick up the bottom team inside of EU for Rainbow,
Second to bottom. You can't get much worse than the Secret right now.
oh, that's true. I apologize. I completely forgot about them. That's how irrelevant they are this season. That was kind of a shot, wasn't it? Anyway, anyways, yeah, I don't know, man. If they're going to try and like pull a rabbit out of a hat this second season, then okay. But as of right now, I don't see things changing very much. That last match that I casted with them against Liquid, that I'm pretty sure everybody's seen at this point, because that was actually our most watched match for group stage. I got that one. I feel good about that shit. 141,000 viewers. That's fucking wild. But it was a grind. It was a grind because Liquid and Mocket were both just playing like absolute dog shit. They were literally just establishing angles and then just holding them for the entire duration of a round on offense. And they would not make a push. They would not make adjustments. They wouldn't do anything at all. They get down to about 15 seconds and they'd finally push. And then they would either make a break. They'd either kill everybody on the defense or they would just get spontaneously combusted and die. Like, it was a very, very grueling match. And that's why at the end, I just was like basically just screaming because I was so happy that it was over. Like, it's just, thank God. Oh, man. I'm very lucky that Flynn wasn't casting with me. Probably, I probably would have went to like fucking the max overtime on every single map for no reason. No, fuck you, dude. Your luck is shit.
That shit pissed me off. Oh, every goddamn game's got to go 3 to overtime. Yeah, I was surprised by Navi picking up that roster of any. I said a couple times on stream as well that I was actually expecting Empire to be picked up by Navi, if anyone, considering, like you said, all of Navi's teams are quite fucking good at the game, and Empire are quite fucking good at the game right now. And also being a CIS region team, the only CIS region team in Siege is Team Empire right now, at least in Pro League. I don't know, it seemed like a perfect fit to me, and I mean, like you said, Navi has a shit ton of money. They could probably outpay whatever Empire's paying them. I don't know. It's a weird one for me, but hey, hopefully it doesn't result in an immediate relegation, considering they are in a relegation spot right now. They wouldn't be autoed. Secret holds that mantle quite well right now. But Navi would have to play against the second EU Challenger League team. Let me tell you, EUCL looks really fucking stacked right now again. That's dangerous. It used to be like if you were in a relegation game match, you could breathe pretty easy. Not a lot of changes would be made. Like, if there was a win in a relegation match from a Challenger League team over a Pro League team, it was like a serious upset. Like, that Pro League team should probably just implode at that point, and most of them did if it ever happened. Now, I don't think that's fair to say. I think there are a lot of EU Challenger League teams right now who could probably put up a damn good fight against the bottom half of EU Pro League right now. And that's a scary thing to say when your brand new, shiny, Tier 1 org just came in and picked up a team in a spot that is sitting quite precariously right now in 7th. And their first game coming back is going to be against Penta. Okay, Penta looked pretty strong at SI in groups. And then right after that, you got to play Empire. Yeah, good fucking luck, boys. Good fucking luck.
Yeah, good luck, good luck. Well, if there's one thing that Navi should know about, it's losing to Team Empire because their Dota team just lost to them. So they're going to be doing that inside of Rainbow Six as well. So, hey, there you go.
Yeah,
they actually are going to be playing Penta for their first match. So, good fucking luck.
I just said that. Yep, good job.
Apologies, I was coughing my brains out.
Good boy. They also swapped out Vale, which I thought was the weirdest member of the roster to swap out, and they put in Lazo, who was their coach for the last like half season or so. He used to be a player. in EU Pro League, but I that roster move as well just confuses the fuck out of me, considering Vale was like one of their best clutch players at SI in the groups. The first run that Navi had against Liquid, Vale, I don't know how many 1vx's he had. Someone could pull up the CGG stats and tell me, but I'd venture a guess it's upwards of 4 in a best of 3, maybe 5. And if you're pulling out that many continuous clutches, why is he being dropped is my next question. He's also in that same kind of role as Pojo, where you're plant bitch, you're breach, you're smoke on defense. Have fun. Just don't die, basically. You can't get kills. You can't go anywhere. You're droning and you're relaying information to everyone else on the team. But if you die, you fuck everything up. So just sit in a corner and don't die. Again, I don't know how taking out one of your best clutch players in that position is going to help things when you're already not looking so hot in Pro League. At SI, I mean, like you said, they went deep with Liquid, whether or not they should have or not, but they did go deep against a team like Liquid.
It was more or less Liquid just not playing up to snuff than it was Market capitalizing on stuff that they'd learned and trying to get better. It was the exact same Market. It was just not the exact same Liquid. I feel like Liquid was just literally drained from what was going on previously. So,
yeah, that's also a weird one. It's another team that's going to have to climb their way out of the basement. I don't know how well it's going to go, and a lot of people have been asking, are you scared that Navi...
Go fuck yourself.
Wow, I forgot to turn off notifications, so thank you, Parker. I will go
shit.
fuck myself. A lot of people have been asking if I'm scared and that we are scared that Navi is going to get relegated. You're fucking right, I am. I do not want to see another T1 org get relegated, and then the team just disband, and then the org never come back. I mean...
Yep.
Obey, CLG, Cloud9 didn't disband, but Cloud9's fucking gone.
Thanks, guys.
I mean, can you argue with the success that roster has had?
Yeah.
Yeah, Navi in a relegation spot does scare me, and I definitely... The biggest problem for me with Navi is that I don't even see them getting out of the hole against the teams that they're going to go up against. My only real saving grace for Navi right now is that Team Secret continued to blow literal ass, and Chaos returned to what they were last season, in comparison to what they were to start the season for Season 9. Because coming out the gates, Chaos looked like the best team in EU, which is a weird thing to say. And it shocked everyone. And then on their back half of the first split of the Season 9, they slowed down exponentially again. So Navi has a couple of things going for them right now in that Team Secret literally don't look like they can fight their way out of a wet paper bag, and Chaos might be returning to the dumpster fire they were at the end of Season 8. So like there's hope, but yes, I'm very worried right now that Navi is gonna be in a relegation spot.
I think everybody is, and again, there's a right to be that way. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, again, we'll just have to see how it goes, but as it sits right now, I don't see them going anywhere, and I don't see any changes happening that would at least make me believe that they can fight out of that spot. So we'll see. It's very... I don't know why Navi would pick up that team. Like,
yeah,
that's just it. That's it.
Especially at this time too. Like you can wait till the end of season when contract renewals are up, and you can start getting some like the middle of the season. A team that put up
I feel like their contracts went up for market or something.
Maybe, but like no, a contract wouldn't expire mid-season. The contract would have like gone the length, so they would have had to buy out what was remaining on the market contracts.
It's just depressing if they did it that way.
Yeah, it's a weird one. It's a weird team to pick up.
I was trying to more or less give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot to be had there.
I'm trying my best.
All right, done with that. Moving onward. Just a couple small things, because these weren't really like... These both weren't new. Like, we knew about these a month ago, and they're not that big. Neofighter officially is released from Fnatic. Big shock after Virtue kind of turned into a monster at SI. And then Fonkers replacing Lackey on Secret. Wow, big shock there. That was the best kept secret of the end of 2018. Like, that's how long ago we knew about that shit. The season hadn't even started yet, and we knew it was going to happen.
So crazy. Much wow.
Yeah. That's kind of like all the roster moves that were, I guess, publicized. There's a couple others that are rumored. There's the Ladam shuffle, which is kind of a nightmare. to try and
Thanks,
decipher.
Flynn. Go
How would
fuck
you know?
Because
yourself.
there's not a lot of like official information. There's a lot of like assumptions being made on what's going to happen in LATAM. But there's not a lot of like concrete, because there's like, oh, maybe Hasa's going to be the 6th player for FaZe, or maybe he's replacing. So we know that Moringa is gone from FaZe. We know that Hasa and someone else, I actually can't remember the name, are like, there's something to do with FaZe there, but like there's no concrete info on like where they're gonna be, so I don't really want to get into it too much. Ion and iBlack's also left Black Dragons, and Moringa and PZD are apparently going to Black Dragons. That's unconfirmed still, so again, I'm waiting to see what the fuck's like. This is the problem when you like when we talk about shit that isn't confirmed and it gets confirmed tomorrow. Now it's just like, great, now we don't have concrete information, and we don't want to say things in a concrete manner before they get announced, but we're also not going to have an episode for a while, so
yeah.
it's unfortunate. The whole LATAM shuffle thing, I wish I could talk more about it, because I wish we had more like concrete info on it. We don't have concrete info on LATAM right now, so I don't really want to touch it further than I already have. If you got something you want to add to the LATAM shuffle, then by all means, but other than the Gohan shit, I don't think there's much that's concrete.
I don't really have anything.
Yeah.
I'm happy that Gohan got dropped. That's about it.
There you go. I think a lot of people are pretty happy about that. So, moving onward, back to the topics. The Season 9 Pro League Finals in Milan. They kind of sold out real fucking quick, and a lot of people are really pissed off about it. There are people pissed off in our goddamn thread about it, and that's kind of shocking, honestly. I can't really believe that it sold out that quick. But yes, it is officially sold out, by the way, for everyone asking. I got a couple comments about this, asking like, is it just they're gonna release more tickets later? Like, no, ESL literally put out a post saying it's sold out, it's done, there's nothing left.
It's sold out.
Yeah, there's
which
nothing left.
Means I can't go unless I work the event. Fuck.
Basically. That's kind of disappointing, honestly. Because I don't think that really I don't think the event should have sold out that quickly unless the venue is that small. So I'm concerned that A, the venue is going to be tiny considering the number of people who showed interest in going. And B, that's really unfortunate that there wasn't enough heads up notice about the sales either. Like, there were a lot of people confused as to like how they even sold out if no one knew they were even on sale. So that's a little concerning.
Somebody probably botted them, honestly.
Maybe there's going to be a whole resale market for it, although it's through Ticketmaster, so I highly doubt that anyone could have.
Ticketmaster is not that secure.
No, but the resale on Ticketmaster also won't let you gouge the prices. So I don't know what's gonna go on there. I don't actually
I'll fucking gouge your prices, all right?
Okay. That's yeah. I don't know how I feel about that, right? Because it's like, fuck, man. I really like. We're coming off 2 incredible tournaments. We have Rio with like 17,000 seats and like 10,000 attendees. We have Invite with, I don't know, like 5,000 seats available, maybe 4,000 seats filled. Maybe on finals day it was like actually max capacity. But we've got 2 big tournaments we're rallying off of, and then Season 9 in Milan is gonna be small. I don't really understand like the progression there from the last 2 tournaments we just had being so successful and so large, and then all of a sudden they just drop this on us, and it's, I don't know, it doesn't make me feel good. It does not sit well with me.
It's a wild sight. It's a wild thing. Again, I think the biggest thing for me is the fact that it's probably going to be a small venue. I think it's going to be a very small venue.
I don't want it to be a small venue, man.
The fact that nobody knew that the tickets were even on sale. Like, I didn't even know that the tickets were on sale.
No, I had no idea.
Hey, they're sold out. And I was like, what? Okay. So, it's just very depressing. Because I know there was a lot of people that wanted to go to that. It's in Italy, which is one of the coolest places to travel to in the entire world, and it's just very sad that there's going to be.
Dude, Milan was amazing. When I was there for the Euro Cup, oh my god, I could move there tomorrow and be happy. That shit was amazing. I'm happy they're going back there too, because the Italian crowd was actually like pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah, again, guys, if we get stuff on fucking American soil, you guys got to be loud. Like you
Yeah.
guys can't just go there and sit. Like be a fucking crowd. Don't just sit there and be like, "Hey, look, I'm on my phone." Text. No, like be a fucking crowd. Get loud. Get rowdy. Like that's every other country does it. We don't do it. It's sad. Like
Yeah.
I want fucking chants. I want that shit. That's what I want. I love that stuff from the crowd. That's why like in Vegas, like Flynn was giving me shit the entire time. He's like, "You're gonna love messing with the crowd," and I loved it because like even as a caster, like playing off the crowd and like the crowd gets excited and you hear that through your headphones and you can feel that shit in your fucking chest and it gets you hype as a caster and it gets the players hype and you guys start seeing crazy shit. Like SI, honestly, that crowd compared to USN was dead. Like the crowd like didn't really even do anything. Like there was a couple of like let's go whatever, but like after Norengo was gone, like that was it. We even had a Norengo chant during the finals.
Yeah, there's a clip
like,
of me actually like taking off my headset while me and Devin are like up on the podium in between maps, and there's a "Let's Go Nora" chant going, and I just take off my left ear cup and I just kind of like do a pan around because like it was loud as shit. But as soon as Nora got eliminated, man, there was no crowd favorite, and that really sucked.
It's like the entire crowd just got depression. And
Yeah,
quit. It's nuts.
So that's all the topics that I put out in the post. Let's delve into the recommended topics. Let me find one that I actually want to talk about. We already touched on the whole immaturity thing. I already talked about EUCL there for a second, but I could dive deeper into the teams that are actually confirmed.
Well, for EUCL, that shit is stacked, my boy.
Yeah, the EUCL teams.
Let's go, Trust Gaming. Skirt.
Those guys were hilarious. I met them in Milan. They were
dude. Deepak is my
hilarious.
fucking boy, dude.
I'm sad that Snuff left. Snuff was great. He was a hilarious dude to hang out with. Let's check out the Challenger League stuff, actually. Because where the hell is Challenger League on Liquipedia? Is it not, like, listed yet? Do I have to go to ESL and actually, like, fucking find this shit? God damn it. Thought it was going to be, like, 2 clicks away. Here we go. There we go. NACL, anyway, so we finally have all of our confirmed NACL teams after, what, last night? Saturday? Sunday? I don't know. One of those days. Our Bad took out Goober Squad in the fight for 5th to make it in. So, your 8 Challenger League teams in order of seed, even though there's only 3 teams that actually like retain a seed. Are there even 3? Yeah, there's 3. So it'd be E-Gang at the number 1, LFO, which is Old Disrupt, and then Sinister are your 3 remaining teams from last season. And then the new teams coming in. Vicious, formerly known as 92 Dream Team, who just made a roster move, which was also curious, and I'll actually get to that in a second. Skillas Gorillas, so SG, Our Bad, Organized Chaos, and then Toon Squad, rounding out NA Challenger League. I think it's going to be, again, a pretty competitive Challenger League season, but I can already kind of see some front runners and some teams that probably won't do all that hot.
Yeah.
I don't really want to make predictions off rip because I haven't seen a lot from these teams still. I'm waiting to see how that'll all break down as far as North American Challenger League is concerned. 3, 4, 5. Wait, did they actually separate it? So I'm looking at this schedule post that was put in the Pro League thing. The Pro League subreddit. So there's like 2 days. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 days that are doubled up, like the old system we had for Season 8 last season. And then from Playday 11 on, it's different days. Once a week. And they actually have the dates reversed on these. Playday 12 should be Playday 11. Wait, they're doubling up and 1 game's on a Saturday? What kind of fucking time zone is this in? What? I'm so confused. But anyway, it looks like they're expanding the length of the season a little bit at the end of the season. Which will be nice, because I'm sick of the whole double, like you play 2 best of 1s in one game, or in one day. That was really terrible.
That shit, it was a terrible system. It was annoying.
I really hope they can. Because I've been saying this for a while now. The biggest misplay with Challenger League and the whole setup as just a whole for the entire league is, why are you wasting so much time? There's a 6-month gap.
Oh, apparently it's Scylla's Gorillas.
Scylla's Gorillas? Okay.
Not
my friend is on the
Scylla.
team, so I can't take shit from you people. Fuck off.
Oh,
Exactly. Leave me alone.
Get put in the dirt, Chris.
Then where the fuck is EU Challenger League? I saw the post about it on the Pro League subreddit, but I didn't actually see any rosters. I hate meme weekend, man. I hate meme weekend because it just fucks everything up. Can't find shit you saw a couple days ago. Meme weekend just floods everything. God damn it. Do you have EUCL up anywhere? Can you find it? Because I got nothing.
Where's the Liquipedia?
Ah, there we go. Found it. So it's End Gaming, the Italian squad, Eminem, who also made a run at DreamHack Winter, Niriki, which is Panari's team, Pact, Supremacy, Vitality, Trust, and Extreme Video Esport. That's quite the name on the old French roster there. But I mean, you've got 3 really powerful French teams here in Supremacy, Vitality, and I guess XVE is the easiest way to abbreviate that. I imagine those will actually be your front runners, honestly, for EUCL. Like, there's a lot of good teams here, but again, I'm kind of already seeing a couple teams that I would favor over others. Honestly, End Gaming actually put up a pretty good performance at the Euro Cup against some teams that were a lot better than them, to be honest.
I think Trust wins it all.
You think Trust wins all of EUCL? They get the auto promotion.
Yep.
That would be a shock, to say the least, considering you have technically 3 former Pro League teams as a whole in here.
Best player in the world.
If I had to take anyone out of all of this, I'd probably have to take either I'd probably take Vitality and Extreme Video.
I'm not gonna take Vitality. It takes them 40 years to make a push. Jesus.
Hey, but it worked every goddamn time, didn't it?
That's still my favorite quote of Parker's of all time. I don't care. I love it.
Yeah, for EU Challenge League, I'd probably take Vitality and XVE as the top 2. I have no idea who would be first and who would be second, because there's playoffs, and God only knows how it shakes out in the playoffs, man. I hate that shit, too.
Playoffs? Don't start talking about playoffs.
I hate the whole playoff setup, man. I hate it. If you're number 1 throughout the entire season, then you're number 1. There's no playoffs to make it to land for Pro League. There's no playoffs in any other scenario. Why the fuck are there playoffs in Challenger League, man?
You should bring that up to Stuart and be like, hey, Stuart.
I don't think Stuart handles that.
We don't even know who handles CL. I don't even know how Sternab started fucking like that shit got me so confused. I was like, who the fuck are you talking to for CL? And he was like, oh, well, I'm talking to like these people. I'm like, why are they handling North American CL? What?
Yeah.
Like, what is happening?
I don't get it, man. I don't
understand.
I don't know. It's still a mess. It's still a mess.
There is not a single person from ESL or Ubisoft that is assigned to CL. It's just like, I guess it's just
whoever wants to take time out of their Saturday to come help NACL, you can have fun. Like,
yeah, like what the fuck? It makes no sense. Oh my god.
It's honestly so confusing.
It hurts my fucking brain, dude.
It's so confusing. Like, I don't know how they I don't know how they control the entire league with like people who just like randomly pop in and out one day and are like, hey, I'll do this for 3 hours and no, I'm done. I don't really want to come back and do this again.
Yeah, dude, it's just fucking weird. I'm just hyped that I'll get to cast with you because again, they got me fucked up. If like I don't even care this is on this public broadcast. I don't give a fuck if I'm not cast with Rams. I'm not casting with Stern because Rams isn't a caster. He does analytics, and Sternab is an EU. So I'm cast with Flynn. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I will fight people. I don't give a shit.
Interesting that you would publicly say that in a very public forum. Interesting. Really wish I could have muted you on that one, but all right. You do you, buddy.
What?
All statements made by Stokes are individual statements made by Stokes and not me, and I don't take responsibility for a goddamn word he says. I'm backpedaling, motherfucker. I'm backpedaling for you.
Well, why?
Moving on. The 92 Dream Team or Vicious Gaming roster move. A lot of people are confused by this. So if anyone is unfamiliar, they picked up Out of Control, who I've known for a very, very long time, actually, to finish their CL playoff run. And they were one of the first teams. It was them and OC, the first two teams to make it in through the qualifier playoffs. And right after they made it, VG did anyway, they dropped Outa again. And a lot of people are touting off his performance as a support player, putting up a lot of frags. Let me just say this from a very personal standpoint. Way back in the day, I used to play on a comp team that tried out Outa. And let me tell you that the conversations that are coming out of 92 Dream Team and Vicious about it all are pretty fucking accurate about how he is as a communicator and how he is as a teammate. There are things beyond pure statistics that you all need to take into consideration when it comes to dropping players and adding players and how team chemistry fits. Not here to disparage Outa by any stretch of the imagination. I think he's a very skilled player, but I think he's not the greatest teammate, and I'm not very shocked that he was there for about a week. And 92 Dream Team, or as they're known now, Vicious Gaming, are looking at different options.
Oh, did you want me to talk about that? Because
Go for it.
I feel the same way. I feel the same way about it. Oh, by the way, just to preface the thing from earlier, that's no hate on fucking Sternab or Rams at all. Like, I love Rams. I've known Rams for a very long time, and I love Sternab. I'm just happy that I get to have practice with Flynn, and I also just wanted to rib fucking Rams, because Rams and I talk shit all the fucking time. So, anyways.
I was gonna say, I started the backpedaling. I expected you to pick it back up.
well, I didn't think that that's how like you were like people were gonna take it. Like as I don't like them, I like them. I fucking casted with Stern for a very long time, but Stern does EU stuff. We do North America stuff. So like that's just I'd much rather have practice with Flynn than practice with Stern, because Stern and I are probably never going to be casting the land together, or extremely rarely, or with Rams, because Rams isn't a caster. Rams does analytics. He does the analytics desk. You know what I mean? So that's more or less what I was saying. Anyways,
I got you.
Past that. Outa, yes, I agree. I've casted Outa multiple times. I've played with him on teams. I've filled with teams that have him on the team. Yeah, he does kind of have an attitude problem, and he kind of sucks at calls. And I think that it's something that he needs to personally work on. There's things inside of everything, whether it be casting, playing, or whatever, that that you personally need to work on. And until you accept it on a personal level with yourself, you're not going to improve. Like, again, there's stuff I know inside of Flynn's casting that Flynn wants to improve on. There's stuff inside of my casting I want to improve on. There's stuff that every player wants to improve on when they go back and watch their VODs. And Outa needs to improve on shot calling not shot calling, just calling in general, as well as just his attitude. You can't get pissy and everything else with your team at every wrong turn. Shit happens at Siege. Like, you can't win every single round. It's practically impossible unless your name's G2. So
yeah, that's kind of
actually, you know what, that just brought me up another thing
what
I wanted to talk about. The G2 Astralis comparisons.
So I don't know a lot about CSGO. I'm going to preface this entire statement with I don't actually know a lot about CSGO as a whole. I think the G2 Astralis comparisons are a little overblown right now, and
I think that as well.
Let me finish this before anyone in chat and anyone listening to this after the fact kind of goes off on me. I think the easier comparison to make G2 right now too would be NIP of CSGO's inception. The game is still quite young in comparison to something like Counter-Strike.
Why do you have to pull this all out of my mouth before I say it? I hate you so much. This is why sometimes, after you're done talking, I just sit here and I'm like, Flynn just said everything I wanted to fucking say. Like,
well, I mean, like, come on, like, let's be fucking reasonable here for a second. G2 are very dominant. They're the best team in the world, and they've proved that time and time again. Even when we doubted them, even when they were saving strats, and we all said, "Oh, are the wheels finally falling off for G2?" They still proved us all wrong. And they did it in a dominating fashion in back-to-back majors against EG, the best team in North America, and Empire, the second best team coming out of Europe. this is a fair comparison to say that they are dominant in the same sense that Astralis are, but Astralis right now in CSGO are dominating a scene filled with superstar teams. Filled with teams that if Astralis didn't exist, there's kind of not really a clear front runner for number one. Astralis right now is leading the pack in a game that has so much history and so many star-studded teams, and it has just so much more depth to it. I think Siege as an esport as a whole is still quite young in comparison to CSGO, and I don't think the Astralis comparison is quite fair yet. I think the NIP run, where they went like, 82-0, 83-0 or something on LAN, to start CSGO off before players and teams started swapping over from 1.6, I think that's a better comparison to make because they are still dominating in a scene that has not fully developed yet.
Yeah, I think that was the biggest thing for me is the fact that, look, Astralis is winning in a different fashion. G2 is dominant, but they're not dominant to the point where they play every single game perfectly. Astralis is playing every single map, every single round to a T of perfection inside of CS. No team inside of Rainbow Six is playing Rainbow Six in the absolutely perfect manner because you can't. Rainbow Six has way too many variables. CS does not have that many variables. You don't have wall bangs. Well, you have wall bangs, excuse me. You don't have destruction and all these other things where you can make sight lines and shit like that. It's wild. So I think that the comparisons, as you said, I think it's a lot closer to compare them to NIP. I think it's a lot closer to, compare them to other people along those lines, not Astralis, just due to the fact of how Astralis is winning. And G2 just isn't there yet. Once G2 is at that point where literally every single map, they're just playing every single round perfectly and there's just nothing that isn't going their way, then yeah, I'm down with that. But Astralis just doesn't lose. They just don't. They literally went, they did not drop a single map on the stage portion of the final for the majors. The stage portion of the majors, they did not drop a single map. So
G2 did. G2 dropped a map to SSG. Yeah. G2 almost lost to SSG. Like, let's keep that in mind, guys. Like, G2, yes, they are far and away the best team in Siege. There are teams that can still challenge them. There are teams, take a look at last year's Invitational. EG, 2-0 map lead. This year, SSG had a 1-0 map lead. Like, there's teams right now who can still hang with G2. And yes, G2, like I said, they're the best, but they're not the Grim Reaper of Siege like Astralis is the Grim Reaper of CSGO right now. So I think the comparison is an easy one to make, but I think if you look a little deeper, it's much fair to compare them to a team like NIP, who dominated for a very long time in a scene that was still developing. And I think we are not at the point of CSGO where every team is a superstar team. We just had a team in North American Pro League fucking disband. Don't tell me that we're at that same point. I love Siege. I work in Siege. It's the only way I make any money right now, so believe me, I want it to get there. But let's be honest with ourselves. Let's all take a step back and fucking realize that we're not there yet. We're just simply not there yet, and everyone needs to chill.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. I just don't like that comparison. I really don't.
Yeah, I think it's also putting an unfair amount of pressure on G2 as well to be that dominant. Like, again, they're good, but don't expect them to go run the show on literally everyone in the entire world and never have a map come close. Because, Empire took them 22 rounds on Coastline, map 1 of the Grand Finals. SSG took a map off them in the quarterfinals. Mantis almost took 2 maps off of them in group stage. Come the fuck on. Let's move on to the Q&A, though, just because we're out of topics, honestly, and Q&A has a lot of things in here. Some things we've already touched
Q&A.
on.
Woo!
Top voted comment on the Q&A thread is, do you think, based off of SI, EG should make roster changes? Personally, I don't think so, but a bunch of Reddit shitters seem to think otherwise. Also, do you think EG will continue... Shitters. Also, do you think EG will continue to dominate North American Pro League in the second split? That's a few questions rolled into one, so I guess I'll tackle the first one, which is, should EG make roster changes? No. No, I think they're fine where they are. I think they have a mindset problem more than a skill problem right now. I think their chemistry is great. I think their teamwork is phenomenal. I think they're some of the hardest working professionals in all of Siege. And I think that they are a damn good team still. It's tough when you go out in quarterfinals of SI after making the finals last year. It's tough when you dominate North American Pro League. But then again, look at the team that beat them. It's the only team to beat them inside of Pro League for the first split of Season 9. The only team to beat them at LAN or SI. Reciprocity. They have a problem against that team. I don't think a roster change is going to fix that. I think a roster change right now would hurt that more than anything.
I agree with you. I mean, I don't think there's really much to add to that, really. I don't know. So I think that they're fine where they are. I don't think there's much adjustments to be had. They just need to make adjustments inside of the team, not try and go to an outside source to make an adjustment.
Yeah, I think it's an internal change that needs to happen as far as playstyle against some of these more aggressive and fluid teams. It's not even that Reciprocity are overly aggressive anymore, or the way that we all kind of typecast them to be when they came out with the roster change, picking up Skies and dropping Goddess. We were both in that boat of, wow, they're going to get really aggressive and just try to outfrag everyone. They still outfrag a lot of people, but they're not overly aggressive. They've actually, like I've said a couple times now, their patience is unrivaled. Their patience in a game. They set up a trap and wait for you to fucking walk into it. And because they're typecast as a more aggressive team, a lot of people fall into that against them. And that's the issue. That's not understanding how to play against the playstyle that's coming at you. I mean, the same thing for Fnatic when they got so fucking aggressive and crazy fluid against EG at Rio. They didn't know how to handle it. They have problems handling that. They have problems going against that. And I think they will continue to work on that. The second half of the question was, do you think EG will continue to dominate North American Pro League? I wouldn't even say they're dominating as is right now. I think they look damn good and probably like the best team tied with Reciprocity right now for North America, but I think it's going to be more of the same out of them. I think they're, again, going to go toe-to-toe with Reciprocity when they end up having to play them. And I think EG as a whole will make land for Milan. I don't think there's any slowing down for EG, even with a quarterfinals exit at SI.
I agree with you on that one. I think that they will. I think they'll at least make the land. It's just what they're going to do once they finally get there, because it seems like every time they get to a stage, it just falls apart for them. So hopefully they're going to be able to make an adjustment this time around. Gotcha said that it was just due to the day, how long it was. But again, that everyone loves to backpedal when something goes wrong. So we'll see.
Yeah, like I said in the last episode, we did the same thing, right? Like, yes, we weren't playing in the games, different fucking scenario, but like, you guys have been around the block a few times. I wouldn't say that exhaustion from being at the venue and doing media for the whole day would really be the biggest deterrent to your play. I think, honestly, next time, like Gotcha said, they're just not going to do media on the day of a game, especially when they play that late, which I think is smart. Just don't agree to it. Just don't do it. Schedule it somewhere else. Make sure these outlets who are asking for interviews and scheduling interviews with you and stuff and media obligations and stuff, make sure they're all scheduled for times that don't interfere with your play. And that comes down to a management level more than a player level. So I don't think a roster change is warranted. I don't think a roster change will happen coming out of EG. And I guess that can kind of tack on to a second thing that was listed a couple times in here and in different threads, which was, why was the NA shuffle all a bunch of lies? It wasn't. It wasn't a bunch of lies. It was a bunch of things that were going to happen, and they got shut down for plenty of different reasons. So, to you guys, the viewers who didn't know anything beforehand, the NA Shuffle is a lie. It's a giant fucking lie. It's a big throne of lies thrown in your faces. To us, we're just kind of shocked that the things that were said never happened. That's kind of where we're coming from. It's not like, oh, we intentionally hyped something up that was never going to happen. Like, no, it was going to happen. It was going to happen, and it was quite the bombshell. And there is still a couple things that haven't been announced that I'm confused as to why they haven't been announced, and I'll have to get more information on that to understand why some things that were said were going to happen outside of teams haven't happened. But there was a giant bombshell from a lot of teams, actually, inside of North America that just never came to fruition. So fuck it. I don't know. Maybe the NA shuffle is a bunch of lies.
There was so much information that got poured into our ears, especially at SI, and just none of it happened. Like there was stuff that people were like, "You can't tell a single person until this happens." I'm like, "Okay," and it never happened. By the way, roster locks today, so
I saw.
it's 6:10 Central Time right now. So I don't think too much stuff's gonna be happening. Watch it be like 11:55, and there's just like a massive roster move. We're like, why the fuck didn't we record our usual 12 o'clock?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still waiting to hear why. You know what I'm talking about, right? The two things that were gonna happen that haven't happened yet. Yeah. I don't know why those aren't happening. I heard one rumor as to why it wasn't going to happen. And I know this is really vague and not fun to listen to if you're a viewer, but
sorry,
it's live and we're trying to communicate to each other without revealing shit. I don't know why those aren't happening though.
We like our friends, guys. We like them a lot.
We do.
They tell us stuff, and you guys don't get to know. So haha.
You don't get to know until it goes live, or if it ever does go live. Yeah, that's kind of unfortunate because. Weird.
I feel like the government, when like there's a national crisis that could possibly happen, but you can't tell anybody until it actually happens, and then it doesn't happen, and you're like, you know how many times like we could have just gotten bombed and nobody would have found out till it happened? That's what I feel like. You know what I mean? It's fucking wild.
I guess we're in Q&A, so I can respond to these chat messages. 2 got revealed on Reddit today. Went live in the ESL pages. Yeah, we knew about that. That was. Again,
which 2 was that?
That's not what we're talking about. Apparently, Redeemer's getting dropped. I find that incredibly fucking hard to believe. I find that incredibly hard to believe, especially for Brian.
I wouldn't drop Redeemer for Brian, like fucking ever. If Redeemer gets dropped, I'll be extremely surprised.
On their ESL page right now, it is Brian in a player role and Redeemer dropped to a trial role. So they haven't actually released him from the roster or anything. But I mean, he's probably still under contract. So that's probably why they haven't officially let him go.
Why would you do that?
Yeah, I don't understand.
Redeemer is like the most clutch fucking support on the planet.
Yeah, that's also not what we heard going on. So that'll be interesting. Also, Pojo.
We need to get better sources, Flynn. This is bullshit.
Poj is on the EXG ESL page as well. I saw those earlier today. I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like those A aren't true, and B, I don't know why they'd be joining and leaving the ESL pages the day before roster lock. So I guess they're true, but like I don't understand either of them, honestly. Poj to EXG, I wonder who he'd replace. If I had to take one guess, it'd probably be Crusher, considering Crusher also plays that breach and anchor role alongside Thomas. I don't fucking know, man. That's also an interesting one. That seems like a sidestep to me. I would put Crusher and Poj on equal rungs on a ladder right now. Yeah, don't really know what's going on there. Pojo was picked up and dropped on a roster less than a day. Yeah, it was the Rise roster. He joined the Rise roster and then left within like a minute, which was interesting as well. Again, we don't know what's going on with that. We'll have to wait and actually hear actual fucking news coming out of that one. But the two things that we're talking about also have nothing to do with any of that. So we're still waiting to hear back on that, which would fuck a lot of it'd fuck a lot of shit up. I'd say that much. It would fuck a lot of shit up if it does happen.
It would fuck a lot of shit up. I'm gonna get that on your gravestone. 100%.
All right, back to Q&A, because we're gonna roll through some of these questions. What is the team most likely to dethrone G2 on LAN? Other than SSG, no team look close to them.
G2 themselves, they just don't make LAN.
G2 just fucking up, basically.
G2 just doesn't make LAN. That's it.
Everyone's
best hope is that G2 doesn't make LAN this season. Hey, Cappy guy. How the fuck do you say that? Kapai guy? Kapai guy. Pi? I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. Team to dethrone G2 would probably be G2 if they just
Yeah,
fuck up.
G2
and
basically
lose their
has to
shit.
fuck up because no one else can play up to that level right now. They're very, very good at mid-round adjustments, and that's how Siege works. So
I
until somebody catches up
really,
to them,
really desperately wanted to see the EG G2 rematch in the semis at SI.
oh man, I did too. Wouldn't you have casted that?
No, that would
No,
have
you
been
casted the first game
Parker
of that day,
Michael.
didn't you?
Yeah, I did the Empire Nora game.
You look so cute in your suit, Flynn. Aw,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
I try. Still too big for me. Both of them are. Get them
Yeah,
retailored.
You just need to get some new suits, my guy.
Yeah, with what money?
The money you got paid for invite.
Oh, really? You got paid for that? Because I haven't.
I haven't gotten paid for it either.
Exactly. So shut your fucking whore mouth.
Have you even invoiced Twitch Rivals yet?
Rivals? No, I need to. I have the invoice done. I just haven't sent it to them because I'm fucking
we need
lazy.
to do that because we only have 90 days and it's been fucking 60.
No, it hasn't.
Well, it's been 30.
Yeah, it's been
Excuse me.
30. We only have 90 days, or did we just work
90
it for
days
free?
they can refuse payment. Yeah.
All right, maybe I'll fire off that email right now while we're live.
God bless.
I forget who to
Alright.
send it to. It's in that other email we got for
It's a very weird email.
Yeah. It was like, here, you go here. Like, here's the location of the studio and how to get into the studio and stuff. And then also, this is where you send your invoices. And I was just like, okay.
All right. So what
where is
teams what teams do you think will really surprise people and how well or bad they do? Rogue. I think Rogue's going to surprise you in how bad they do. Because
Really?
I think that they're going to be going through a lot of role swaps and everything else, trying to fix things. And I think that this is going to go down a path of absolute shit. And I think that they're going to end up in probably the 6th place inside of North America.
I wouldn't be shocked if there's some issues with Rogue and they don't make LAN and they actually have like a huge a huge kerfuffle in the middle of the season, especially given their performance at SI. I know they weren't happy about that, but I don't know if they're really gonna fall off a cliff and just be that terrible. I think they'll just be a middling team. Honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if they don't perform up to expectations, but I also wouldn't be shocked if they just implode really near the end of the season.
It's just depressing because I like Vert a lot.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of people laying blame on the Vert pickup, and I don't really understand that. That's more of a team's inability to properly utilize a player more than the player himself. I think that's really what it comes down to. All right, I got the email addresses for the people I need to invoice. I am literally invoicing Rivals right now.
I'm definitely resetting my internet before we go play Siege after this because I've dropped 26,000 frames.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, so my ISP is so much fun, dude.
Wait, I should probably send it to this and then CC this person. And then
Actually, I'm going to fix this now. Well, I'm going to fix it after. I'm going to host you right now so people don't have to watch me lag.
Okay.
So, guys, I'm going to host Flynn until after this, and then I'm going to reset my internet. And then, yeah, him and I are going to play Siege because it's 2 days before.
Yep. Who's Stokes ISP?
I'm on Spectrum. I'm on Spectrum,
yeah,
Mix.
Spectrum. Yeti rumored to go to Disrupt as well. Yeah, I've seen that. That'll be an interesting pickup. Aside, dude. Where did I put my invoice?
Yeah, I need that Google Fiber digs. 100% Migs. Excuse me.
Here we go.
I listen to way too much Heartland podcast. There's a guy named Diggs on there.
All right. Anything else in the Q&A section that would be useful to look over? Or are we ready to wrap up?
What harmless food items would Stokes mistake as a weapon at a LAN? What?
A baguette.
Is this just like more or less saying like because I'm white I would mistake it for a weapon? Is this what I'm saying? What?
I think it's Trip just calling you an idiot, but either or, it's fine.
I feel like this is if I was a cop sort of a deal. This is I don't know. This is a dark road.
Oh, I gotta attach my fucking wire transfer info as well. Shit, I'm
Yeah,
glad I
attach your
didn't
wire
forget that.
transfer info, idiot.
Yeah. Where is
Has the
it?
meta gone stale? Will Kaid and Nomad change the meta? No, because the meta's been information for the longest time, and they're not going to change information meta. So there you go.
It'll slow down roaming a little bit as far as Nomad's concerned, but I imagine she gets auto banned for a very long time, just because people will be scared. And then Kaid, I mean, again, it'll slow things down. I mean, you bring Kaid, you ban Thatcher, everyone kind of knows what the fuck's going on. You can still get rid of the Kaids on the hatches, or you can just ignore it. He's only got 2 of them. There's other options. Like, it's not going to be like this overwhelming meta shifting thing. Like you said, information is the name of the game right now, and neither of those contribute nor deter that. So I don't know. It's not going to be the biggest shakeup.
What is your argument for/against Skies' sushi drama, Flynn?
Sushi is trash, and I don't want to hear it from anyone.
I fucking hate you.
Sushi is awful. It's
Sushi
raw
is
fish.
the shit, dude. It's
No.
so good.
No.
It is so good. So good. I would literally bathe in sushi, 100%.
Sushi is hot trash. I am on Sky's side for this one.
Sushi is amazing, and you're hot trash. That's how I feel about it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Cookie butter, you're also disgusting.
No, you're disgusting.
I'm literally offended by it. You guys. You know what? All of you guys are just terrible, terrible people that don't have a palate for good food. There you go. That's it. What are your thoughts on Least Wanted not making CL?
Unfortunate, honestly. Kind of disappointing, really, given some of the other teams that made it. That team,
Same
I
with
had
Spaghetti
a lot
Monsters, honestly.
I had a lot more faith in Least Wanted than I did in the Spaghetti Monsters making it. That team is filled with talent, that have proven themselves time and time again inside of Pro League over and over again. Like, I don't know. It's really disappointing to see them not make it into Challenger League at least, because they were there last season under like a different format and like a different team, but it's disappointing, really. I was really sad to see that they didn't make it. I'm a big fan of a lot of the guys on that team, and to see them kind of fizzle out near the end was really disappointing, honestly. I thought they'd go a lot deeper and actually make it.
Oh, here's one. This is from Noah. Should ESL adopt a third set of casters that way each week will consist of 6 casters with pairs rotating in regions each week? This will allow for more consistency in casting and a more organized schedule.
No. Your whole premise is fucked up. The premise that one pair should just do one region, or you're only doing a region per week, is like, no, you need, like, that doesn't change anything, because at the end of the day, you're still watching the games if you're not casting them. Like, your job is still to watch them and take notes and understand what's happening in every single game in every single region. So adding a third pair, all it does is inflate the bottom line that ESL has to pay, and you're never going to walk into a room and convince ESL to pay more than they already do. They're perfectly fine with the setup they have. The setup works well right now, unless a caster goes down. They're down to a 3-man rotation, but again, there's no way you convince them to up the budget on the entire production for a hypothetical situation where, like, oh, a caster's sick for a week. Like, no, that's never gonna fly. No, it's not just like paying them out their salary each month. It's housing them the entire time they're there. It's working on their work visas. It's everything that has to go in behind the scenes. It's just extra work and extra money for a system that works the way it is right now. Trust me, I want a job. Believe me, but there's no logical reason right now to up it to 3 pairs.
I agree with you on that one. I think that they're definitely not going to expand what they already have, and if anything, people are going to. If you guys want new casters in, then you're going to have casters that are already there go off and do something else. That's it. Like, that's the only way you're going to get new casters inside of PL. So. Yep. Until then, the casters you guys enjoy outside of Pro League, you guys will just see it lands and doing CL and other stuff, i.e. myself and Flynn, basically.
Yeah.
So.
And Blue. The 3 of us are basically just next up.
Yep, we're just chilling.
Yep.
So, I don't even know how I got here, but I'm here, Lamau.
Same. Any
Shut the fuck up,
news?
Flynn.
Any news or announcements on making APAC easier to watch for any EU LATAM audiences? No, because they're not. They have a channel where everything is streamed. Well, they have 4 different channels where everything is streamed, which is really fucking irritating. But can't change time zones. They broadcast at the time zone that works for their region. Just like NA is broadcasted at 8 p.m. Eastern. It's 2 a.m. in Poland, but that doesn't matter because they broadcast it at the time zone that makes sense for the viewers that would watch it. So I wish APAC was easier to watch and easier to follow. Realistically, right now, there's not enough good teams. Like, the depth in APAC is not there. The top tier teams obviously are incredible and they can hang with the best of the best. We've just proven that at SI. We've proven that in the last couple of lands.
Go.
Exactly. Like, there are good teams, but the depth isn't there to really even warrant more publication and more advertising. Which is unfortunate, don't get me wrong, but until the depth of player skill pops up and actually takes a meteoric rise, there's not really going to be any reason for them to put it on the main channel, and also putting it on the main channel interferes with time zones and scheduling for the regular 3 regions. So there's no easy solution right now to make APAC more viewable and more accessible to audiences outside of those APAC regions. I got an immediate email back from those people. So, this is just an acknowledgement of an email submission. Okay, cool.
Let's see. Already covered Navi.
All right.
What changes do you think that the lower ranked pro league teams, Rise, Secret, Navi, etc., need to make? Mindset, playstyle, roster, etc. I think the biggest thing is that they need to get past this. I feel like lower tier teams always have a blame factor that goes on inside of their team roster. And it's the fact that nobody wants to accept something that goes wrong for themselves and try and work on it. When you're a team, you're a team. It's not, hey, it's this person's fault. Hey, it's that person's fault, so on and so forth. You take a loss as a team, you take a win as a team. And you have to focus on that. You have to be able to have that mentality to where you can work on things together, and it's not always just one person's fault. And after you're able to establish that, that's when you're going to be able to find success. That's why G2 is so successful. I'd say the only thing about G2 that, still is inside of that, but I don't believe that they do it in game. I think it's more of just a meme, is that obviously, Fabian likes to talk shit about his teammates, which I feel like it's more of a meme. I feel like it's been kind of a drawn out meme and that it's been going on for a very long time, but I feel like everybody does know that it's a meme, and I don't think that he's obviously shit talking people inside of the game. Whereas, we have on the exact opposite spectrum, we have Gohan, which is completely putting it all in one person and shit talking them inside of the game at the same time. And that does not make for a good environment.
Yeah, I think the lower tier teams in all 3 regions right now, at some point, you also just got to come to the realization that you are not as mechanically gifted as some of the top tier teams. And that will change over time as more players continue to develop. We've seen a lot of rookies come up in the last year who have been phenomenal. I mean, look at Virtue. That dude came out of fucking left field for Fnatic. You look at Rampy. That dude was playing in IEG and played 1 season to Challenger League, and now he's one of the best fraggers in Pro League for SSG. There are players that will eventually develop and grow over time and get picked up, and that will force players who lose their edge and can still hang at the bottom tier to drop down to some lower ranked teams, and eventually we'll fill out this depth. But I mean, like I said, we're 3 years in and we're still pretty new, so the development of the regions and of the pro league scene as a whole is still yet to be fully seen and fully developed, and we're waiting for those days to come where every team is a star-studded roster. And up until then, there are teams who are simply just not going to be good enough to hang with the best of the best. And unless you're really scouting the fucking salt mines for players who didn't even make Challenger League, or players in Challenger League who you think could be shining stars inside of Pro League, and you can sway them away from the team they're currently on, then, I mean, you're kind of stuck with what you got. So as far as rosters are concerned, that's what it's going to come down to, is just more time passing and better development of younger players. And I don't even mean younger age-wise, I just mean younger as an experience and skill-wise. They're going to take time to develop and grow, and their potential has yet to be fully seen, and eventually we'll get there. We'll get there when like a 6 seed team can hang with a number 2 seed team, but for right now we have clear top portions of a region and bottom portions of a region. I think the only region that has that exception right now where it's like the top 6 and the bottom 2 are kind of trash, and even then it's kind of iffy, is EU, considering EU is so deep and they have such immense skill, and there's not really a fall off. Like, you look at Secret from last season to this season, the roster didn't change. They're just playing like shit. That's kind of what you want. You want every region to look like EU, where it's like, okay, one team's having a really fucking bad run. They're playing like shit, but they're not bad players. You can't really say the same about NA and LATAM right now, or APAC for that matter. There are good teams, and there are just straight up bad teams. There are good players on those bad teams, but as a whole, they are bad teams.
All right. Was there anything else you wanted to cover, talk about?
I think we're good to go.
Questions, comments, concerns?
We just broke an hour 30, so I think we're good to call it. Don't really have anything else I really want to go over.
I think this is going to be the shortest podcast we've ever done.
I don't know about that. I'd have to go look.
It's going to be close. Usually we push for that 2-hour mark, but there's not really much else to talk about.
Yeah, that's the thing. And people ask why I didn't want to do an episode. We barely just got all this information, and we still are struggling to get an hour and a half out of it.
That's fine, though. At least you don't have to stare at your ugly face anymore. That's good.
Fuck you.
Fuck you too, bud.
Fuck you.
Fuck you too.
Fuck you. All right, guys. I think it's going to wrap it up for the podcast. I think Sam said he wanted to play some ranked, so I guess
for
we're going
to...
to...
podcast portion, absolutely. Yeah, I need to reset my fucking ISP.
So yeah, that's going to wind it down for us. Oh, wait, shit. Giveaway.
Hey, giveaway. Do you think King Leo will ever be able to come back to PL? No, because King Leo left due to illness, and he said that he would never be back. I actually used to be a coach for their team when they were Ferocity. So, no. King Leo is great, though. Thinking Nade's fucking awesome. It's actually really weird that I knew Thinking Nade before Thinking Nade was on SSG and a fucking amazing player. And I was their coach, and I did absolutely nothing because at the time they were in CCS, and they're like, yeah, we really don't need you right now because we're in CCS. It's like, oh, okay. So literally, like right before Pro League started and they were in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right before then, that's when the org that I was working for, Ferocity, went under basically. So
thanks, Flynn. Go fuck yourself.
I was no longer their coach right when they actually started needing me. I was like, lit, dude. This is fun. Like, yeah, I was very depressed. Because I was like, oh, dude, I'm going to be able to I'm going to be able to, practice coaching. It's going to be a good time. It's actually worth my time. So on and so forth. It was not worth my time. So, which fucking sucked. Then they went to being most wanted. Lamau.
All right.
And then, what was it? Bittersweet.
I got the screen cap up. We're ready to generate. It's going to be one follower of our account to win the pins. I'll reach out
at B Leaguers on Twitter. Go follow it right now. Go follow.
I'll reach out on Twitter and get your mailing information. 3, 2, 1. Generate. This dude. Doesn't really have a real name, but congratulations. You win. You got a bunch of fucking pins.
You won stuff.
Yup. You did it. I don't even know how to pronounce it.
Schoolboy you.
Yep. Or City Boy Yuri. Is his at? Where's this dude at? Where's this dude live? Vietnam? I don't fucking know.
Well done, this dude.
Search Google. It's in J. Cole lyrics, but it's not. Oh, North Carolina? It might not actually be a real place. Hold on.
It's North Carolina.
Is it? All right. Congratulations, idiot.
Congrats, friend.
Won. You did it.
Good job, idiot. You won free stuff.
I gotta like. Twitter. God damn it. Tweet. Paste. Congrats. You won some pins from at the Koyo Store.
All right, I'm gonna go reset my internet. So yeah, fuck
All right,
you.
let's
Love
go
you.
round it out.
Love you. Yeah, love you podcast. We love you guys. Tune in next time for when we make another podcast. Pay attention to @BLeaguers, sponsored by the Koyo Store once again. And that's where that guy's getting all those beautiful motherfucking pins, as well as you can get some goddamn challenge coins. If you guys don't know what a challenge coin is, it's those cool little coins that were sold from USN, and Flynn's got a couple. I've got a couple. They also sell those for the operations, for every single operation that's been inside of Rainbow Six Siege. Very, very cool, high quality, as well as same with their pins. Very nice enamel pins. So make sure you guys go get those at the Koyo Store, which is fucking great to be sponsored by them. And thank you, Koyo Store, for sponsoring the podcast once again and giving us all this cool free shit to give away and also having our personal possessions. So besides that, I'm the fuck out of here so I can go reset my internet, and Flynn and I can shoot people in the face and hopefully gain some elo and not lose all of it before the end of the season. So love you guys. We will see you guys later in the next episode. Deuces.
Good night.